Welcome to the Daily News Show with Gentry GEVERS. My name's Gentry. It is November 27th, and the stories that we're going to be talking about today is DC Drano, Rogan O'Hanley goes after Vivek. The RNC is broke. Big win for babies, and materialism is a sickness. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. The first story of today, DC Drano or Rogan O'Hanley goes after Vivek on Twitter, and Vivek actually responds. So the tweet that DC Drano put up is pretty revealing, to be honest. Let's pull it up. Next one over. We're looking at Scott Pressler here. Boom. So DC Drano's talking about Vivek Ramaswamy. He is affiliated with the WEF. He took money from the Soros family, got rich from Big Pharma, does massive deals with Pfizer, push for mask testing and vaccines, thinks Mike Pence did the right thing on January 6th, thinks Donald Trump is a liar about election fraud, similar to Stacey Abrams, never voted for most of his adult life, wants to re-enter the TPP, just like Obama. And so those are pretty inflammatory claims that DC Drano put up. Here's what I will say about Rogan O'Hanley, DC Drano. He's been right about a lot of things. And I think that he's probably going after Vivek because Vivek is running a fantastic campaign. And but there are some really, really big questions that I think Vivek does have to answer. To be honest, a lot of these things that he said has been true. He did take money from the Soros family, not necessarily George Soros. It was another foundation that that his brother had, and he took a grant for school. And the way that he explains it is that, of course, you're going to take a grant no matter if you have money or not. He is associated with the WEF in name only. One of the reasons why he does have that claim is because the WEF actually put his name up on their website without him even asking. And apparently he has sued to get rid of that. But there are definitely some questions about the election. And does he still think that Mike Pence was right with the election fraud? If you go back to the tweet and scroll down, there's actually a response from Vivek. And if you scroll down that tweet, perfect. So Vivek says, don't disrespect your followers by lying to them like the mainstream media. The fact is you're still sitting here saying that I was affiliated with WF is pathetic lie. I'm the only guy that sued and won while others still traveled to Davos. I was the only candidate on stage with probably says the balls to call them out. Which is true. I think that the fact that Vivek responded to this means that Rogan is getting under his skin. Vivek has actually had some really interesting campaign missteps in the last couple of weeks, or last couple of days, sorry. He posted a video of him shooting an AR-15, and people ridiculed him for not holding it the right way. And it looks like he hadn't shot a gun in a long time. That tweet has been deleted, so we can't actually pull it up. I wish there was video of that. But it's a really interesting it's a really interesting look at how people's campaigns are running. And to be honest, I think that a lot of people are wasting time talking about DeSantis, Vivek, Haley, and especially Chris Christie in this primary, because in my view, the primary is over. Polling shows that Trump is going to win the nomination by a landslide, no matter if he's in jail or not. Here's a message to the candidates, right? Right now, you guys are really trying to get second place. And that's a really sad place to be. There's really no way that you can win. And I can poke holes in all of your campaigns right now. DeSantis, you're a great governor, but you're running a terrible campaign. Your influencers on Twitter are doing a horrendous job of trying to attack Trump, which is the wrong thing to do, by the way, because he's a clear front runner. He does have a lot of the support of the base, and if you want to be effective, then I would support Trump. You have to do better at media. I know you're not a media guy, but you got to do better at it. And this whole Bootgate, I mean, you should have just embraced it and gone on stage with Boots and made it a joke and made it funny. That would have been the best response. But this kind of ignoring it or just, reaffirming the fact that you're 5'11", I mean, it didn't really go over well with the base. You're losing. You should drop out and go ahead and support Trump. Nikki Haley, I'm really surprised that you're still running. You're a media darling, which is bad because a majority of the GOP and the base and Republicans, conservatives, you name it, we don't trust the media. In fact, across the board, even with liberals, 60% of people don't trust the media. And I bet you that number is a lot higher. And so the fact that you are propped up by the media doesn't bode well for your campaign at all. Chris Christie, just drop out. You're not even running. You're just rolling at this point. I bet you Krispy Kreme has a minimum wage job that you can go get. Vivek, to be honest, you're running a fantastic campaign, but you're only running it online. And so people online are seeing a lot of what you're doing. But the people who aren't paying attention at all really have no idea who you are. So either do better or drop out and support Trump. I mean, that's really what you got to do is drop out and support Trump. That's all I got to say on these primary debates. People are racing for second. You're going to be king of the losers. It's not going to be a good time. Anyway, we'll be right back after this. That is Michael's brand new show, and I think the first episode is coming out this week. I'm really excited about it. Michael is very passionate about the Constitution, founding documents, founding fathers, and he has a wealth of knowledge. And so I'm really excited to tune into his show. Next story is the RNC is apparently broke. Scott Pressler posted this morning saying that the funding levels for the RNC are at its lowest since, I think, February 2015. So let's read this here. RNC has a big problem. It only has $9.1 million cash on hand, the lowest amount since February 2015. Small donor program isn't performing well, and some major donors aren't cutting large checks because of party leadership. Furthermore, the debates have been flubbed, and one of them was even scheduled on the same night as a Country Music Association Awards, which is a huge blunder, by the way, because there's a lot of the same people who are going to tune into the CMAs as the RNC debate, right? Even some of the CMA people could have been at the RNC debate and gotten more attention. The frustration has reached a boiling point after November 2023 losses, especially when it was revealed that VA GOP chair Rich Anderson asked the RNC for funding and was denied money. 2/3 of the 168 members, the committee that makes up the RNC, are up for re-election in spring of 24. Many of those running for the current party leadership, they need to answer for the abysmal fundraising, years of losses, and their votes. Something has to change. Now, we've known that Ronna McDaniel has done a piss poor job of leading the GOP. She is essentially, from my understanding, she has essentially used the RNC as her own personal piggy bank. Her salary has increased every single year, despite having losses on her record. I mean, she's lost abysmally. The red wave that we were promised in 24 didn't happen. And I'm assuming that they use the same playbook in 23 as they did 22, where they just didn't get involved in local races. The fact that they have $9.1 million cash on hand, which is the lowest since February of 2015, is very concerning. Small dollar donors really should be one of the metrics that you look at as far as trust goes in the RNC. And it's pretty obvious that people are not donating or have stopped donating or will no longer donate to the RNC because of the lack of trust in leadership. I think that a lot of these people who are running for leadership in spring of 24 should be taken out. And that means that there's room for people to step up and actually run and hopefully win. The fact that even large donors are pulling out their donations is also very concerning, because as we know, the Republican Party, the rhinos, they are basically beholden to the big donors. And if the big donors are losing trust, who are they going to put their money behind? What's going to happen there? This is very, it's very sad. I'm hurt by this, to be honest. One of the things that we need to figure out how to trust again is the RNC, but they're not giving us a whole bunch of reasons to trust them. Ronna McDaniel, which by the way is a Romney. I know it's been said many, many times, but it's definitely worth repeating. She's an establishment rhino in the RNC, and she needs to be replaced. And I think that this is the perfect storm to replace her. I'm not sure why Trump or other candidates haven't called for her removal. I know Vivek did, and he made a whole bunch of fuss around it. In fact, he actually called for her resignation from the RNC debate stage, which I thought was amazing. But they've made a lot of missteps. I know we've talked about this before, but the fact that MSNBC hosted the last RNC debate is really interesting, because they're part of the lamestream media, right? The fake news media, where they just twist the statistics, twist the facts into spreading whatever narrative they have. And they've pushed against Republicans for so long. And so why are we as Republicans embracing that again? It doesn't make any sense. The RNC has to change. If we want to win, it has to change. We have to get involved in local elections. It can't just be the big dance, right? We've learned over the last few years that local elections are actually way more important than the presidential election. And I think that a lot of Republicans and a lot of conservatives are just so hyper focused on Biden versus Trump, or who's going to win the nomination, or is Newsom going to run, or whatever it is. But the fact of the matter is that local races mean so much, especially local congressional races, right? My encouragement for next year is find out who's running for governor, who's running for Congress, who's running for Senate, who's running for those state positions as well, and go get involved in their campaign in some way. Please go do it in some way, whether that be on the admin side or going to chase the vote, going knocking on doors, making phone calls, sending out the emails, the texts, whether that be on the fundraising side. Just figure out how to get involved in these campaigns. The Democrats are doing a really, really good job. They're doing a fantastic job. And part of the reason is because their donors are just keep putting money in, because to be honest, I actually don't know why they keep putting money in. We might actually see a huge change in that. There's been a whole bunch of folks whole bunch of donors for the Democratic Party who have stopped giving to the party, to universities, to other PACs, just because of the state of the Democratic Party right now. But please get involved in local races. That is one of the biggest ways that you can make a difference. Sometimes it does feel hopeless. Sometimes it feels like there's no way to win. But we can't give up hope. And maybe the catalyst for us winning big on the national stage as well as on a state stage is if you go ahead and get involved in local races. I'm telling you, especially in these swing states too, right? There's a whole bunch of organizations that are getting people organized. Turning Point Action is a great example of this. They're hiring hundreds of people in swing states to go chase the vote, and they've got funding, and they're looking to expand that more and more and more. It is sad that some of these other political organizations are doing more than the RNC, and I think the RNC potentially could take some notes from these other orgs and just copy their playbook. I mean, all you got to do is read the book Rules for Radicals, and you have the whole playbook right there. And then you go back to the donors and say, here is what we're going to raise money for. We're going to hire all these people to go chase the vote, to go ballot harvesting where that's legal, because we have to do that, right? For a long time, there was this stigma around ballot harvesting because it wasn't, I don't know. It's illegal. It may not be the most ethical thing. That's up for debate. But if the Democrats are doing it and they're doing it to win, then we also have to do it. I mean, set up outside of churches, outside of Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops, really anywhere where where conservatives are going to gather. Like, we have to go out and ballot harvest. And that's one of the things that the RNC isn't doing. They're not adapting to what the field is looking like. They're not calling audibles. They're just trying to run the ball down the middle and see if it still works. And it's not working. So, and I think that's one of the reasons why the RNC is broke, is because they're not doing their job. So thank you, Scott Pressler, for exposing this story. And we'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. The third story on the docket is we have a huge win for babies. I mean, the aftermath of Roe versus Wade is really evident. Fox News put out an article today saying that the overturning of Roe versus Wade has led to 32,000 additional births. That's unbelievable. So not only are we seeing much less abortions, right, which we all know is tantamount to murder, we're also seeing an increase of births. This is a huge win, and this is an article that you can share with all of your liberal friends that says, oh, if abortions are going to be illegal, then people are just going to get it illegally. Like, this is the perfect refutation to that article. One of the things that we saw from the aftermath of Roe versus Wade is people on the left were, the sentiment was that they were going to not have as much random sex as they were having, because they don't have this, birth control option. This is, I'm so excited about this. When I saw this article, like I did a little dance, I'll be honest, and I posted it, and I was so excited to post it, because this is a huge win for life. Not just conservatives, not liberals, for life overall, right? Where this is the first step in stopping the infanticide that has become mainstream in our culture, mainstream in our society. And it's a huge win. Not only is it a big win for life, but it's also a really big win for America in the future, right? About a week ago, we went over birth rates in America, and we saw that across the board, birth rates were down. And when there's a population decline, it has huge economic implications for the future. So I'm unbelievably excited for this baby boom that we're about to see. It's not necessarily a baby boom yet, but I think it's going to happen. I think what this Roe versus Wade thing is going to do is it's going to help people think about life. It's going to help people think about their life and the baby's life, and how to live a better life versus just going out and having random sex all the time. It's not fulfilling. It's just putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole in a lot of ways, because they're trying to find fulfillment in nothing. And if you talk to anybody who's an amazing parent, they're going to tell you that having kids and having a family is the most fulfilling thing that you can do in life. And again, this is a gigantic win for life. I think that God is looking down on this country, smiling right now, because he's seeing we're winning this battle. It's not perfect yet, but we're winning this battle. We're protecting the life of innocence, and I think that this is going to be this is going to open up blessings for the U.S. in a big way. I can see that across the board. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. We have a fun little video that Fabian posted on his Instagram, and it's a video of I think it's like a Sweet 16 or something like that. And it's a girl who is getting a pair of Billie Eilish sneakers, and she is flipping out. So let's watch this thing real quick. Looks like she got a whole outfit here. She is actually flipping out. It is. This video went viral yesterday. She got a whole new outfit, monochromatic, Nike Air Force Ones. And there's a couple things I'll say about this. Good for the parents for knowing exactly what to get their daughter, because obviously she loved it. But the second thing is, it's kind of sad that she is reacting like this. And I'm not sure what her whole story is, but we can draw a lot of conclusions from this clip and look at materialism as a whole in society. I don't think it brings lasting happiness. I think that girl was probably unbelievably happy and will be happy for a few weeks. But then it fades. And then you have to get something else. But getting the same thing or getting something at the same level doesn't necessarily bring the same amount of happiness, right? We've all done retail therapy, and we know that the bill goes up and up and up and up every single time, right? There's a story told. It was on the Joe Rogan podcast. I forget who it is, but this rich kid, he got a Ford Mustang for his 16th birthday, and he was stoked out of his mind for 6 months. And then he got a better car, and he was stoked out of his mind for 3 months. And then he got a better car, and then he got a better car. And then he eventually graduated to a Ferrari or some other luxury car, and he was stoked on it for a week. And the moral of the story is that you can buy your way to happiness, but you have to keep buying. And at some point, it just doesn't last. And if you find all of your identity and all of your joy from stuff, it's not going to be lasting. It's not going to give you a fulfilled life. The way that you have a fulfilled life is if you have amazing relationships, you have a relationship with your creator, you understand that there's something bigger than just yourself and your selfish desires, which is human nature. That's just who we are as people. And I'm not saying buying stuff is bad. I'm saying the heart behind stuff, the heart behind buying stuff, you gotta definitely make sure. Because if you make an idol out of stuff, if you make an idol out of anything that isn't going to be lasting, if you make that your God, it's not going to bode well for you. It's just not. It's a sickness that can be cured, though. Materialism is in my view, it's a symptom of greed. You just want more. You want to consume more. And to be honest, one of the best ways to combat greed, is to give. And this is a perfect segue into Christmas, because it's the giving season, right? It's not the consuming season. And so if you do have a problem with materialism or wanting the next and greatest thing, or, you find a lot of identity in the newest, whatever it is, try giving. It doesn't necessarily even have to be giving a present. It could be giving time. It could be giving money. It could be volunteering. It could be doing whatever. But just try giving and see how it makes you feel. This is a challenge for this year. Try giving. It could be to your church. It could be volunteering. It could be to a food bank. Really, whatever. Just try it. The US has created this consumer ritual every Q4, every fourth quarter, Black Friday, today's Cyber Monday. And I think it's probably one of the worst things that the US has done to us, is we've appropriated the Christmas season, where we're supposed to be thankful, right? We're supposed to celebrate the gift of Jesus Christ coming down as a man, as a baby. And we've turned it into this selfish, gluttonous filled season. And everyone, to be honest, everyone's guilty of it. I am too. I went shopping yesterday. I bought stuff. And I was really excited about it. But one of the things that I would encourage everyone to do is, number one, is to give in some way, whether it be time or money, but then also reflect on what this season actually means. What Thanksgiving is actually all about. What Christmas is really all about. Because it's not about the tree. It's not about the decorations. It's not about the shopping. All that stuff is great. All that stuff is really fun. Like yesterday when I went shopping, I went with my siblings and we had a great time. But think about what it actually means. What does Christmas actually mean? What does Jesus coming down and being born actually mean for us? Anyway, that's all the time we have today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, share it with somebody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Have a good day.